All right, everyone, welcome to Menace and the Monk. After a long time, after a rather prickly time, we are back again live on YouTube after a long time. So first of all, thank you the four people that have joined us. Thank you so much that you're here. We are obviously joined by, as you guys know, Rithwik, who's a part of who's before going to the part of the YouTube channel and the community that he represents. Brilliant with his analysis. So is Ishan. These two guys, we love having them on Menace and the Monk. We lovely lads, lovely content creators. And please check out their social media handles and do follow them. And with that, let's start. राहुल यादव सेज कहाँ हो भाइयों, बस आ गया यार, थोड़ा लेट हो गया, मैं एक दूसरे लाइव चैट पे था, वहां पे बात चल रही थी तो उसमें थोड़ा लेट हो गया. But let's begin. We will also be joined by Utkarsh in a bit. But let's start talking here. Ishan, let's start with you here.
Yes,
Man City versus Liverpool. What do you think?
very, very, very tight, very cagey affair. I mean, nerves, मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा ही nerves है. मतलब I think the biggest game of the season for sure. And I think मतलब it's obvious if we win this game, we have the psychological edge over them, and I think it's just gonna change everything in this title race. And I think it's really important that. Uh, I mean, we contain their two biggest players. I mean, Foden and De Bruyne, we control them, and I think. I mean, when in the last match when Foden had the ball with every touch, I was like, "नहीं यार, यार, please नहीं रुक जा, please रुक जा, please रुक जा." So वो वैसी वाली feeling आ रही थी Foden के साथ. With every touch, he looked so bloody good, so dangerous all the time.
Right. So before I go to Ritvik, we have Daksh in the house. Daksh is a very good friend. He is an Arsenal fan, and he is going to start his YouTube channel very very well. A big shout out to Daksh for helping us out with the latest video. So wo dekho yaar. It was very good. His channel is really really good. But Ritvik, ये टाइटल डिसाइडर है क्या? If City win tomorrow, are we out of the picture? And if we win, are City out of the picture? Do you think this is the title decider?
I think for City, this is probably a must-win game. Yeah, I think
Hmm.
even a draw would probably put them in a comfortable situation. I think because if you look at both our teams' fixture, right? So
Picture,
I
yeah.
think I think three fixtures same है हमारे Newcastle and a couple of others, Villa, Newcastle, and one more team which I don't exactly remember. But if you look at the other games, I think we still have Spurs, which is going to be a really really tough game. Spurs, they're actually trying to get into the top four right now. They are like on track to get into the top four because Arsenal and United are not in great form at the moment. So that's going to be a really tough game. Anfield pe hai, lekin fir bhi it's going to be really tough. And I think we still have United, and they would be trying to. I mean, I know they are not in great form, but a game against United is always tough,
Yeah,
especially
of
for
course.
us. And we have the derby as well. No matter how bad Everton are at the moment. Again, it's a derby nevertheless. So I think comparatively we have the tougher fixtures. So if we win, we still have like probably 3-4 tough games still left, and I don't think it's safe yet. But if City win this, I think that should probably give them the mental boost to go on and win it, because I
Hmm.
think they are a side who loves going on streaks,
Right.
and if they get a big win, they get that confidence and they go on back of that. So I think it's very very important for us that we somehow get a win, or at least perform much better than City and kind of get a draw, because as long as you rattle Guardiola, you kind of have an edge on him, because once he gets rattled, he starts thinking a lot and he starts doing random things. So it's really important that we push City to max.
And guys, I'll take your comments and many. So, by the way, you have some fan mail, Rithwik already. Shubham says, "Hi Rithwik, कैसा है मेरे भाई?" I
Hi Shubham.
right. यार
ईयरफोन खराब हो
एक
गया.
चीज, हाँ एक चीज मैं बोलना चाहूंगा. So यार LJ, I'm not going to highlight your comment. यार ये we should not do this. I I know that you are a regular on our channel. This t-shirt I'm wearing is frankly a t-shirt. I just opened this and I found this. उतना मैं सोचता नहीं हूँ यार मैं क्या पहनने वाला हूँ. मैं कोई फैशन मॉडल नहीं हूँ. ठीक है. तो ये मत करो यार. ये आप वहां पे भी बार बार बोल रहे थे. मैं इसको नहीं हाईलाइट करूंगा बिकॉज दिस इज समथिंग दैट इज मेंट टू इंस्टिगेट. मत करो. मत करो. This is, I have seen a very ugly side of it. Don't do this. That's all I'm going to say. I know perhaps you mean well, but please, like, just cut it out, man. But okay, let's get back to the football here, guys. I have a let me share something with you guys, and you tell me. Now this is the fixture list. Ishan, I'll come to you first. um Give me 1 minute. Yeah. So this is the fixture list that Liverpool has. So we play Man City. The very next game in the league is we are playing Manchester United, followed by the Merseyside derby. Then we play Newcastle away, who are team pretty much on the up. Then we play Spurs, followed by away to Gerrard, and then we play Southampton and Wolves. Are you nervous about just this game or this run?
To be honest, I think if we get a positive result, with positive result, I mean like a win from the City game,
Mhm.
I think everything else will become like a cakewalk for us. I think
Cakewalk,
uh,
okay.
I say that a cakewalk because I mean we have seen that we guys. I mean our team is like really strong mentally, really strong. I'm not saying that a loss will. I mean they will not put that the equal amount of effort, but then that extra 1%, 2% confidence which you get by beating a top team like City, that marginal gain in the mentality which you get, that is gonna be like that will like totally set the temperament for the rest of the games.
Right,
And I think like the biggest and the most toughest tough game out of the whole bunch would be the Spurs game. And as Ritvik said, like they're pushing really hard for the top four and they're playing really well. And I think they have a pretty decent squad as well right now. And Conte is like he works his magic as soon as he enters the club and he changes the whole style really well. So I think. These are the two fixtures which I'm really, I'll say, worried about. But apart from that, I think we'll be able to, you know, coast through all the other matches.
right. Ritwik, this is the fixture of run for Manchester City, and this is the last thing we're going to discuss, and then we come to the game and take some of the comments. Do you see City dropping points anywhere at all in this run of fixtures?
I
I
think
I, I don't see it.
the important thing here is the Champions League semi-finals.
Yeah.
So if City make it into the semi-finals and if they face Chelsea, that is, if Chelsea somehow come back against Real Madrid and get into the semi-final,
Right.
I think the semi-finals are supposed to be on 27th April and 4th May. So that
Right.
period. So I think they face Leeds right on 30th. So Leeds again are someone who's in the relegation mix as well. They really need to somehow get some crucial points on the board. And they've kind of somewhat improved under Jesse Marsh as well. But I mean, I see City absolutely rinsing them. But still, the Champions League run is very important for City. And I think that's one tournament that they've really, prioritized this season. And I think they're going to probably even think of resting and keep some key players for the FA Cup tie against us next weekend. So I don't realistically see them dropping. I think they play Wolves, isn't it? So Wolves and West Ham are two games where I possibly see them probably, somehow getting held to a draw. Wolves, especially because They are a very frustrating team to play against.
Right.
Completely when under Bruno Lage, he's been excellent, and I think they don't score a lot of goals, but they are very tight. They defend really well. They're compact. They have a good set of players as well. The keeper Jose Sa is also in good form. So, I think Wolves, West Ham are probably City's two toughest ties.
Hmm.
Villa, I'm not really confident. I would love to see
Yeah,
Gerrard,
that's the romantic story, right?
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but they are actually struggling quite a bit at the moment. So I don't really see them kind of uh, giving us any favor because it's really hard. But yeah, Wolves, West Ham are probably my only hopes. Newcastle, possibly,
Hmm.
the battle
Newcastle.
between the
You
Middle
have
East.
more hope from Newcastle than Villa. Interesting.
Actually,
Okay.
okay. Right. Yeah. So, Dave, first of all, thank you for commenting. I concur, but again, tomorrow's game I think is very very important. It's huge. Um, Ishan, do you?
And
What is the front three that you would start with?
I feel
And
I think the vintage three has to be there in my opinion. Bobby, Mane, and Salah. And
how can
I
you
think
drop Diaz? And how can
I
you
I
drop Jota?
I'll give my reasoning to that as well.
Yeah, of course.
I think Diaz is electric. He's great. No denying that. But him against slightly tired Stones and Walker is a better bet than him being, trying to push them from the very front. And also keeping in mind that, Walker is more of like an inverted right back. So,
Hmm.
he won't be like, he won't be the one who's going to be pushing their width back. So, I think playing Diaz would slightly be counterproductive, in my opinion, and I think Mane would be a better fit for tomorrow's match at the left wide forward position. And yeah, of course, I would want Bobby to start as well because I think that connection between the midfield and the attacking line is unparalleled with what he does as compared to like Jota. And I'm not saying that Jota isn't good, but I don't think that connection, which is going to be really, really important with the kind of pressing the midfield of City does. I mean, that's going to be one of the key factors, and Bobby is a master at it. So I think Bobby will start, and I think Salah is undroppable. So
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's going to be
We'll,
Bobby
we'll
Man and Salah.
Yeah, we'll come to the team discussions and we'll talk a little bit about both of your teams. By the way, Sudarshan, thank you. Thank you for watching our content. Please follow Ishan and Rithwik as well. Now, Rithwik, let's address the elephant in the room. Is Mohammad Salah out of form?
A very tough question, to be honest, because I think people generally associate Salah with just goals. So when
Hmm.
he's not scoring, people kind of say that, yeah, Salah's out of form. I think the bottom line is he is tired. So that's I think the bottom line. He is fatigued. He's played an awful amount of minutes this season. I mean we saw how good he is when he's fresh because
Right.
he got last summer off. He came in. He started the season so well that he played a lot of games. He played the Afcon with Egypt, and again this international break as well, the crucial World Cup qualification game as well. And I think he is probably in that space where he's, mentally not perfect because of the way things have gone on the international level, of course, because he is a highly competitive player and he would have definitely wanted to play in the World Cup as well. So that probably would have played on his mind a bit, but I think mostly it's down to him being a bit tired.
I
I
agree.
would have loved to see, us probably giving him a bit of rest, but at this moment where we have like one important game after the other coming up, it's really hard to rush Salah as well. So it's a tough
Yeah,
situation. I don't think he's out of form. One goal, one good goal, and I think
I
the momentum comes back.
I think Ritik, what I really like about Salah is if I mean I mean, we all are seeing that, he's not scoring. The good part for us and him is that he's still getting into those positions where he scores
Yeah,
from. So friend, this is what I feel all the time, that if you're getting into the position, that is the tougher task as compared to finishing, because getting into that position, making that run is way, way tougher. So I feel that it's just a matter of time, and I think this City game might be the best time for him, because it just might be that you know that extra motivator for him to do better for the club and for himself as well. And and he sets very, very high standards for himself, and I feel that this game might just be the perfect situation for him this season, where he just picks up again and picks his form again.
fair enough. Now let's talk about Manchester City a little bit. Rithwik, there are a lot of accusations about Pep overthinking. That is, it's a social media thing or whatever. For what kind of game plan do you think City will have tomorrow?
I think he's joked about this overthinking part in a recent presser where he said, I overthink a lot. That's what I do, and he's
Yeah,
being quite sarcastic. I think City, one of the most important like transformations that City have seen is that for probably sometime last season, I think, because they started last season quite slowly, and then they had this amazing run where they kept on winning games, and that's how they cruised to the title last season. So in that run, I think Guardiola kind of saw something in the team, and he has kind of set them up properly defensive. I mean, it's really, you can't really say City are defensive, but
right.
when they don't have the ball, they are excellent in blocking good
Yeah.
opportunities. And I think the most important thing, because people just see the goals conceded alone. It's not just the goals conceded alone. It's how you restrict opposition from getting into good areas, or restricting good quality chances, and that's exactly what City are doing at the moment. And this season, to be honest, in the Premier League, they are the best defense in the league without a doubt. I mean, we are the best attacking team and they are the best defensive team. It's not Chelsea at all. So I think they will possibly again do the same thing. When they don't have the ball, they will defend quite narrow. They will defend quite well. I think they've been probably the the highest presses in the attacking third, more than us. So they will try to press us in our defensive third. So I think the attackers would probably, if Bernardo Silva starts, if Foden starts, they will be the pressing triggers for our defenders when our defenders are on the ball, and that itself is actually a very risky thing to do, especially against us. So it's very hard to predict because it's Guardiola. Uh, because I don't know, he is probably one of the best tacticians ever in football, and I mean I honestly rate him really, really highly, um, yeah, like Jurgen Klopp does as well. So it's really hard to predict what he's going to do. I know for sure that he rates us really, really high, so he is probably prepared for anything that we have to offer.
100%. Yeah, Rahul, of course, I 100% agree. Salah is a big game player, and the thing is, अगर if अगर मैं क्रिकेट की थोड़ी बात करूँ ना, if I compare this to this situation, UT is in the house, boys. अभी भी फॉर्मल शर्ट पहने हुए हैं, ऑफिस से ही आया लगता है, right? UT, he's stuck. Is he? UT, can you hear us?
Why am I not able to hear anyone? What is
Oh,
wrong with
we
this
are
thing?
able to hear him.
We can hear you. Right. So till UT fixes his mic, and we get to talk, we talk a little bit more about it. Yeah, the thing is, why I first of all, that question I asked was to help Ritwik enunciate on that. But मुझे नहीं लगता है कि साला out of form है. But वो he is terribly tired. The amount of football that he's played is insane, right? बट अगर क्रिकेट से कंपेयर करूँ ना, तो वो सहवाग के जैसा है. मतलब वो यू कि कई बार ऐसा होता था कि क्रिकेट में सहवाग नहीं अच्छा खेल रहा है, बट आप बड़ा गेम खेल रहे हो, आप ऑस्ट्रेलिया के साथ खेल रहे हो, पाकिस्तान के साथ खेल रहे हो, आप सहवाग को ड्रॉप ही नहीं कर सकते यार. So I think, not that I'm comparing Sehwag and Salah now, but I think a little bit of that thing is there. This might just be the game where Salah is like, okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
Yudi, how are you doing, brother? Can you hear us now?
All good, all good. Yeah, it was a system problem. So
Hmm.
apologies. The voice is clear.
I don't know worries. No worries. We were just getting warmed up, right? Now, let's start with a burning question. Yeah, Yuti. Let me come to you first. Your front three against Manchester City.
So
सोच यूटी, तूने कभी सोचा था कि तेरे को मतलब इस सवाल का जवाब देने में सोचना पड़ेगा?
off the topic, I am incredibly happy with the kind of turnaround I have seen with the management in the terms of transfer policies.
Yeah.
Already? Okay.
So we weren't asking for much, right? We were asking
We
for one
weren't.
attacker
We
and
weren't.
probably one person in midfield and one backup for Trent. I'm pretty
Right.
Yeah.
sure the other two will also be done now that they have finally decided to invest something. So okay, keeping all that aside, that's probably something for later. Uh, okay, so one person that definitely has to start is for me at least is Luis Diaz. He has to start. Uh, I believe the kind of footwork he has, he will cause a lot of problems.
Hmm.
The other person probably who definitely has to start is going to be Salah, obviously. So that's just a no-brainer because
Yeah.
these are the kind of matches where he really shines.
Exactly.
And he just did the same last time we had a match with City. So that's another one. Now the third one is kind of a toss-up because see, I can understand that Mane is coming off. I'll probably say Mane is coming off a literal high because he just had Senegal qualify for World Cup. He has defeated Salah now twice in two outings, so he will have that sort of
Mental.
performance boost that comes because this is what happens with elite players when they beat other elite players, they have a certain I would say performance boost. However, would this front three gel? Diaz, Mane, Salah? I'm not really sure because I believe that would be too much of uh, I don't want to call it individual play, but then too much of dribbling probably. I'm not sure how to put that across. I
Yeah.
do believe the third person has to be Firmino then in that case to link up the entire play together. I think Firmino is going to be my third option. So Diaz, Firmino, and Salah is my front three.
Pep Fraudiola, someone has also said my front line. Right, by Ishan, I'll come to you here and let's talk about City a little bit more.
Mhm.
And because we've not spoken about City at all.
Yeah.
Um, I think मेरा पर्सनल ओपिनियन है कि पेप पागल हो जाएगा, उसको ये मैच जीतना ही है.
Yeah.
राइट, अभी वो इज्जत वाली बात हो गई है पेप के लिए
Yeah.
ये मैच. Now, yeah, guys, I'll take your comments. Just give me some time. Let me ask one question to these guys, and then I'll take your comments. Now, Mohammed Salah, I'm saying. Now, Manchester City. What are the areas in our play that someone like a Foden or a Grealish or a De Bruyne can exploit? And all of you can chime in. Yeah, by the way, this question is not just for Ishan. And
So,
do you?
I sorry. Finish off. You finish off. You were
No,
saying
no, no.
something.
And do you see that becoming a very big issue?
Okay. So again, that famed space behind Trent when Trent bombs ahead, that is always going to be there. I mean, that space is there. The good thing is that we defend that space really well. I'm not going to deny that. Uh, the other thing is, I think if Hendo starts,
Hmm.
they will definitely press Hendo, like that'll be relentless against Hendo. So Hendo has to be really quick with his passing, one touch passing. That has to be there because City is quick and they like press like bunch of hounds, as I mean almost as good as we guys do.
Right.
So I think that is one chink in our armor which we really have to be careful about. And I think apart from that, I don't think there are many like holes in our defense. And I think Fabinho has been like brilliant this whole season. And I think especially in the past 5 6 games, he has like taken himself a notch further, and he's like winning everything in the midfield. And he's kind of and I think he scored like 3 4 goals also. So I mean that's boosted his confidence up as well. So apart from that, I think it's more like how well we contain the spaces between the lines, especially for people like Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, and Foden to exploit basically. So because these 3 players, in my opinion, are like the masters of exploiting small little spaces, and like using them for their own benefit in order to draw players and create passing options. So I think that is the biggest threat City will have with respect to us.
Right. Rithwik, do you agree with that assessment, or do you see other problem areas or no problem areas, whatever your thoughts are?
Ritu, go ahead, please. I mean,
Okay, okay, cool.
मैं तो
Um,
बंदे
Duty
को
is too
सुन
hungry
सुनना
right
था.
now.
Yeah,
He's eating all his
I was
tacos.
actually out to get some Taco Bell.
cool. So I think Ishan mentioned it quite well there. I think the space behind Trent is what City are definitely going to try and exploit. Um, I probably see them going with Sterling, Foden, and maybe Maris. I'm not 100% sure, but I think Maris possibly could start. If not, it's going to be Grealish on the left and Sterling on the right. But I think it would make sense to start Sterling on the left and Maris on the right, because I think that space is definitely there to exploit. I think one of the most important things that we have to is get in control is the midfield. Thiago, Henderson, Fabinho would be my go-to midfield for this game. Henderson, because he is good at covering those spaces. I know he's had his ups and downs this season, but he is still a really crucial player for us. And when he is on song, he's really amazing. He's really amazing to
Yeah.
watch. Not because he is like so flashy, but he does all the basics right, and that's what we need to do in this game. So I think midfield is going to be a key area for us in this game. Because I think the possession is going to be pretty much even, and we are going to like try and attack whenever we get the ball. And another problem that I see is the last time we faced City, we couldn't really create much. Both the goals
Hmm.
that we scored were amazingly like individual brilliance.
Individual brilliance, yeah.
So I think if you look at all our league games this season, I think that was like our third worst attacking performance in terms of XG or like proper good chance creation. So I think that's a serious issue versus City. I mean, not just for Liverpool, but for any team because of how well they've like improved defensively. So there are a few things that we might need to look out for, but yeah, if City decides to be a bit more expansive and leaves gaps, that's definitely there for us to exploit.
Utkarsh,
So I
क्या बोलते हैं?
So I completely agree with the point that the only space that I can see them exploiting continuously is when Trent is bombing forward. However, which is exactly why I would agree with the midfield that Rituk is talking about. Thiago, Fabinho, and Henderson, because Henderson. So this season, Henderson has been a little bit ineffective because he has been working in those advanced right midfield spaces instead of dropping back when Trent is
Correct.
bombing ahead.
Hmm.
Because this season Trent is not bombing ahead on the wings; he is coming in centrally and trying to dictate the play from center. Which is why that spot which Trent used to occupy is right now empty because even Salah is cutting inside, and that right upper right quadrant seems to be empty, which is where Henderson seems to be darting into.
Right.
If if we revert to our default settings and Trent focuses on creating from the outside, which is what he is so good at, bringing in those crosses, and then Henderson is filling up those spaces at the back. I don't see a uh, I don't see something which can be exploited regularly then in our system. However, with City, one thing that I would like to point out is we have always been at an advantage against City when the game is happening at a breakneck pace. If the game has slowed down and they get the chance to pass the ball around, they will find those spaces. We need to keep pressing and keep them on their toes. Don't let them think through their passes, and we'll be good to go. Otherwise, whatever system we play, they will find a way. They are an elite team. They will find a way to break the defense. I have
100%.
no doubts there. We have to give them that respect. So
टैकल फ्रॉम बिहाइंड इज इन द हाउस बॉयज. जिसने भी टैकल फ्रॉम बिहाइंड को फॉलो नहीं किया है, उनके यूट्यूब चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है, अभी के अभी करो. मैं इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ कि यार तुम लोग बहुत ऑसम कंटेंट मिस कर रहे हो टैकल फ्रॉम बिहाइंड. बाय द वे मैं कुछ दिखाना चाहता हूँ. आई लीव यू गाइज विद अ क्वेश्चन एंड आई वांट टू यार टैकल फ्रॉम बिहाइंड मैं नाम नहीं लूंगा तुम्हारा पर्सनल, but just stay here. I want to show all the 25 people that are watching this something. uh, Ishan, how important will this be?
Last time we played against City, Trent and Thiago was not there. This time we are. I think it's gonna be really, really important. I mean, these are the two best passers we have. Like the highest chance creators for us. Of course, along with Salah as well. But then these two like just dictate the whole play for us. So it's going to be a massive, massive upgrade on the last time we faced City. But yeah, I just feel this game is also going to be kind of like a test for Matip and Van Dijk as well, because the City team really has good pace, and Van Dijk will again be tested, and that famed or like infamous of him, like people saying that he has lost his pace or whatever crap. I mean, which I don't believe in. I think he's still there. He just doesn't use it that much because of his injury history, and I think that will be put to test again. But yes, I think with the Trent and Thiago back, it gives us more control in the whole game.
All right, so boys, this is what I wanted to show you guys. Isko, tackle from behind said it will be a draw. Eat it, drink it, mark this. मैं भी बोल रहा हूँ, drink this in, order this. This is a fridge magnet that I've got from tackle from behind. बहुत ही, this is, I love it. I
it
absolutely
looks
love it.
great.
Yeah,
बहुत ही
it looks
सही
really
डिजाइन है. आई फकिंग लव इट. तुम लोग मतलब अगर कोई भी फैन हो यार, रोनाल्डो के भी हैं, काफी सारे हैं, उनके पास फ्रिज मैग्नेट्स. मैंने अभी साला की टी शर्ट भी ऑर्डर की है. तो यार उनको फॉलो करो यार, उनका कंटेंट तो इज यस. देखो ये माइंड गेम मेरा समझ गया, but yeah, I had gone to pick the magnet, but yeah, please follow these guys. Yeah, they have some amazing content. Abhi, their recent content is about why a lot of football clubs are making content with Indian flavor. तो देखो यार, जरूर फॉलो करो, अपने भाई हैं, सबको सपोर्ट करो. बट बिफोर वी मूव ऑन विद द कमेंट, वन कमेंट आई वांटेड टू एड्रेस यार. सो राजवीर यार, आपको सॉरी बोलने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है. आपको, यू डोंट नीड टू बी सॉरी यार. देखो, मैं एक चीज बोलता हूँ कि मैं, जो लोगों ने गालियां भी दी थी ना, मैं आई गेट इट कि ये फुटबॉल है, लोग पैशनेट हो जाते हैं. मैं जब 20 साल का था उस टाइम अगर लिवरपूल को कोई कुछ मतलब गलती से भी कोई कुछ बोल देता तो मैं भी बहुत भड़क जाता. मैं डेथ थ्रेट और ये सब नहीं देता, बट मतलब वो आपको भी पता है कि दैट्स अ वेरी स्मॉल परसेंटेज ऑफ योर फैन बेस विच इज टॉक्सिक, विच फ्रैंकली एग्जिस्ट्स एवरीवेयर. हमारे फैंस भी कम टॉक्सिक नहीं है, ये सच्चाई है. ठीक है, वी हैव यू नो पीपल हु ब्रिंग द ओनर्स वाइफ. नहीं यार, यूटी,
Okay, owner's wife, me. That's not me.
हाँ यूटी, यू आर नॉट इवन क्लोज तो
Then that's not me.
yeah, we're not even
टॉक्सिक.
close to that.
देख, यू एंड आई डिसएग्री ऑन अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग, बट तेरे को टॉक्सिक तो मैं कभी नहीं बोलूंगा. ठीक है, तो इसलिए यार सॉरी वॉरी मत बोलो यार. मतलब वी हैव ट्राइड टू एक्सप्लेन वेयर वी आर कमिंग फ्रॉम. होपफुली द पीपल हु अंडरस्टैंड विल अंडरस्टैंड. अब इस बारे में बात कम करते हैं. मतलब लेट्स मूव ऑन. मतलब कितना बोलते रहेंगे. एज फॉर योर लास्ट पार्ट ऑफ योर स्टेटमेंट, अभी तो नहीं है यार, अभी तो हम ही बैठे हैं. Right. Um, all right. So coming back to the game now, UT, what is the what is the biggest worry for you in this game? It could be our problem, or and Ishan, I want to ask you we- uh, where we can win this game. What do we need to do to make us win this game? UT, तेरे लिए question है कि what is the
Biggest
biggest worry?
worry, right? So midfield, mostly it's midfield. Matlab, I can be very confident that my attackers are going to do their job. My defenders are going to be excellent. I'm pretty sure of that. But if our midfield gets dominated, our attack frankly gets isolated up front, our defense is constantly facing pressure. My only problem is going to be the midfield. I would honestly have no issues if we probably, okay, so it is controversial, but still, I would probably be okay with dropping either Thiago or Henderson for Milner. I I would be okay with it because uh, Milner is the kind of person who can come in for 60 minutes and give you that no nonsense tackle that set the tone, energy, all of that. He might not be what he was once, but still he can give us that for 60 minutes. And the biggest thing is that he actually believes in the qualities of the club, the players around him. He is involved and fully focused on the club, right?
Hmm.
थियागो के साथ जो एक मेरा सबसे बड़ा इशू है वो ये है कि थियागो इज वेरी गुड विद हिज पासिंग बट थियागो इज आल्सो वेरी केयरलेस इन हिज टैकल्स अगर से तो वो स्टार्टिंग में कहीं येलो कार्ड खा गया
Hmm.
पूरा गेम की बैंड बच जाती बिकॉज वहां से फिर हम जो है मैनेज ही करते रह जाएंगे कि ये रेड में ना कन्वर्ट हो जाए एंड वी नो मतलब रेफरीज का क्या हुआ है यहाँ पे सन के रहते हैं मतलब कुछ भी हो सकता है विद रेफरीज सो व्हाई इवन गिव दैट चांस
Plus,
दैट इज
just adding
माय
on to that, UT, sorry to cut
Yeah.
you, but
Please,
one
please,
small
please.
point, adding over there that, with Thiago also, I think in the past, like this season especially, we have seen a lot of times when, he has, lost the ball, whether it's in possession or like by virtue of a pass. Uh, in a very very dangerous space, like when we have just started our attack and we have kind of like opening up and kind of going forward, and एकदम उसी टाइम पे जब हम लोग थोड़ा सा जगह हम लोग के डिफेंस में खुल जाती है वहीं पे बॉल लूज कर देता है, एंड इट जस्ट बिकम्स लाइक वापस अटैक से डिफेंस से अटैक बन रहा था और अब अटैक से वापस डिफेंस हो गया, सो इट बिकम्स रियली टफ. तो आई थिंक वो एक स्लाइट इशू है थियागो के साथ, बट आई थिंक उसके अप्स इतने ज्यादा है कि आई थिंक दिस इज समथिंग व्हिच वी कैन जस्ट से कि यार चलो कोई नहीं, ही वोंट
मेरा
डू
डर
दैट.
वही है कि अगर हम खाएंगे ना तो हम किसी ऐसी सिचुएशन से खाने के चांसेस बहुत हाई है वेयर थियागो मे लूज द बॉल और फॉर दैट मैटर हेंडरसन में आल्सो लूज द बॉल बिकॉज उसका भी थोड़ा सा फॉर्म इफी चल रहा है इस तरीके से एंड दैट मे क्रिएट अ काउंटर एंड दोज गाइज आर गुड एट काउंटर्स मतलब दे आर नॉट प्रोबेबली एज गुड एज अस दे आर मोर ऑफ अ पोजीशन बेस्ड टीम बट स्टिल दे आर वेरी गुड ऑन काउंटर्स तो मेरे को वो थोड़ा सा डर है अपनी जगह पे एंड दैट इज प्रॉब्ली द ओनली थिंग उसके अलावा एलिसन का वो जो मतलब बीच बीच में कभी कभी पता नहीं माता चढ़ती है क्या होता है दैट्स अनदर थिंग
And as to like Nidhi, your question as to where we can
Hmm.
probably win the game, I think set pieces are going to be like really really important for us, really important for us, and I think our delivery has to be top notch. And I feel with Diaz not there, like Ruben Diaz not there for City, it's gonna help us a bit. But again, like if our
Yeah.
delivery is right, because I think we have seen बहुत बारी मैचेस में ऐसा हो रहा है कि मतलब डिलीवरी फर्स्ट पोस्ट भी नहीं क्रॉस कर रही है, एंड इट्स नॉट जस्ट लाइक एक या दो बॉल्स, लाइक
Hmm.
80% of the corners में बहुत बारी हो रहा था. I don't know whether it's a routine which they are following or like it's just they're just not able to put the balls in. But then I think we have to be really really good with our set pieces, because
Yeah.
that is something in which the the structure and the individual brilliance of the City team actually थोड़ा सा वो आप reduce कर सकते हो उस एरियर को. तो I feel वो एक ऐसी चीज है which we are brilliant at it with respect to both attacking and defending them, and I think if we take the advantage in by scoring by virtue of set piece, nothing like it.
राइट. बिफोर वी मूव फॉरवर्ड यार, अमृत, थैंक यू फॉर द सुपर स्टिकर. कमेंट भी कर दो यार. आपका क्वेश्चन अगर कुछ है तो हम ले लेंगे. आप क्वेश्चन ऐसे ही डाल दो. आपने स्टिकर भेज दिया, अभी आप दो बार मत करो. आपका क्वेश्चन हम ऐसे ही ले लेंगे यार, बात कर लेंगे उसके बारे में. आई एम गुड यार. थैंक यू फॉर आस्किंग. थैंक यू सो मच. वन MUFC इज इन द चैट बॉयज. मोहक का चैनल है, तो मोहक के दो चैनल है. एक तो वन MUFC जो यहाँ पे है, और दूसरा मोहक अनस्क्रिप्टेड है, जिसपे मैं अभी अभी लाइव था. प्लीज जाके फॉलो करो. दीज गाइज हैव बीन सुपर सपोर्टिव. दे हैव रियली 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 हेल्प्ड अस. और मोहक ऑफ कोर्स इज अ मैनचेस्टर यूनाइटेड फैन, तो बोल रहा है कल हार जाना बॉयज, 20 नहीं करने हैं. 20 का ही तो पूरा खेल है यार. 20
सही
का
है.
ही. जोटा का शर्ट नंबर 20, बर्नार्डो सिल्वा का शर्ट नंबर 20, वैन पर्सी का शर्ट नंबर 20. 20 टाइटल, 20 ही का तो खेल है यार. ये सब कुछ 20 के लिए ही तो हो रहा है. But yeah, let's talk about the midfield. Rithwik, bro, what is the midfield that you would be going with? And what is the most important area in midfield? Is it going to be the most obvious, which is Fabinho, or somewhere else?
I mean, I think yeah. Again, Thiago, Henderson, and Fabinho is going to be my midfield three. I mean, I do not want to see Milner, especially after what we saw against Chelsea, because he is not the same anymore. I mean, yes,
Right.
he is still like very passionate. He still has the same intensity when he goes into challenges, but he can't really chase a lot of players, because I remember him giving away like a very cheap foul. To Kai Havertz, and that's how I think Kovacic got his wonder goal as well. So,
Yeah.
um, I don't really want to see Milner start, possibly as a late substitute. Should be fine if we are like leading and we want someone to like get that intensity in. But Henderson, Thiago, Fabinho, definitely my three. But in this season, we've seen like in a lot of games where Fabinho has kind of been isolated,
Yeah.
where he hasn't had like enough support, and he has like a lot of space on both his flanks, so he's kind of left wondering, like he's been like lost, and that's not his problem. That's something to do with the system that we play. So yeah, without the ball, we have to be really, really good. Like UT mentioned earlier, City like to pass it around, play and build up. They even managed to find a way through Atletico's 5-5-0 formation. So,
Yeah,
so if they can find a way through that, they definitely can find a way through our defense as
yeah,
well. So
absolutely.
yeah, so I think they're really strong in midfield. Also, I mean, we talk about movement a lot. Their players are always moving, and I think Guardiola always emphasizes on this short passing sequences rather than going long. So
Yeah.
they have this continuous rotations where Bernardo Silva goes ahead and then Foden drops behind. Sometimes when Foden is ahead, yeah, someone else drops in, deeper to collect the ball and move it forward. So they're really good at that. I think one thing that they're going to try and do is to isolate some of our players. They know that Trent will be higher up the pitch, but they will possibly try to isolate Robertson, and possibly Fabinho as well. So that's something that we need to be really wary about. One weakness I think that they have is Rodri, and I'm actually not. I'm actually very surprised why a lot of clubs haven't really exploited him. He's been really good. I mean, not really denying that fact, but I think that is an area where teams can exploit, because he is when I think when you put pressure on Rodri, he kind of panics quite a bit, and that's where City's Achilles heels are at the moment. Even Kyle Walker, to an extent, when he's having a bad game, he has a horrible game. So
Yeah,
that's why I would like players to run at Walker, run behind him, not just run behind him. When we have the ball, just run at him. So I think UT mentioned about Luis Diaz. So I wouldn't mind actually Luis Diaz starting in the front three, because he would really run at players. He has like a really good technical ability, good ball control as well. So I think that those two are City's weaknesses. But in terms of where we have to be really careful, that's definitely midfield, and I think that's the area around Fabinho.
All right. So speaking of midfield, Ishan, do you see this happening? Do you agree with this?
Not a chance. Not a chance.
No, you don't agree, or do you not see this happening, or both?
Both. I'll say both because I think primarily because I mean, they don't have that much amount of experience,
Hmm.
and our midfield is very very functional unit. It's not like any other team's midfield. Like you see other teams' midfield being very, I'll say, an intrinsic part of their build up towards scoring. But our
Hmm.
midfield is just a functional unit which just helps in recycling and rotating the ball, whereas
Right.
our main creation is either via the fullbacks or via our forward players. So I really don't think this is the match where Klopp will start Harvey or Curtis Jones, and also because I think with Harvey he's still kind of not matured enough mentally speaking,
Hmm.
and he's learning. I mean, he's a phenomenal player, no doubts about it. And I think this is not the game for him to like start. I mean, same for Curtis. I mean, Curtis has like I think developed really well this season. I mean, it's not.
Has he? Has he?
I absolutely think so. I think his decision making is still a bit of doubt, but
Hmm.
I think he has improved from what he was last season, and
Okay.
he is actually the dribble, the decision to make when to make the dribble and when to just pass it down or just recycle the ball. I think he has become a bit better at that, Curtis. And I feel like with more game time and with regular game time, I mean, I think he got that freak eye injury, some eye injury, which I mean was not talked about much. And then I think he got COVID as well, so I think that broke his rhythm a bit as well. So I think he has improved, but not that much to the point that he can start in the midfield tomorrow for sure.
Hmm. यार सो वी विल कम टू द सिटी गेम अगेन. अभी एक चीज के बारे में 10-15 मिनट बात कर लेते हैं. यूटी, I'll start with you. How excited are you about the Fabio Carvalho signing? It looks like it's going to happen.
It's a good signing. I mean, uh, quite unexpected that we closed it. We are closing it at this point of time.
Hmm.
Kind of. I was expecting that this move would have either happened in the winter or would eventually happen in the summer. Doing this in the middle probably means that they might be looking at more signings in the summer. So they just want to wrap this up early and
Right.
then probably. And this would also signal that we are finally refreshing our squad, which would mean that some people might be leaving us in the next summer. I'm
Right.
expecting Origi to leave definitely.
Ah,
Uh,
I agree.
Milner might also be gone, and then
We will.
probably a couple more. So,
This go ahead, complete. I'll add on to
in
it.
terms of signing, I haven't really seen much of him. From what I have read, seems to be very exciting. Uh, could could be a great asset for us in the future, but at this point, I can't really comment much on that.
Football Creeks. So we'll just take one round each at your. For me, it's Kevin De Bruyne. Of course, it's always Kevin De Bruyne for me. I love him, but he's also someone that makes me very scared. Rithvik,
Yeah.
Sorry.
for you, one City player that you fear tomorrow.
Bernardo Silva at the moment.
I agree. I agree. Ishan.
As I said before, man, I mean it's a huge tie between Bernardo, De Bruyne, and Foden. Like these three are electric players, and they're
Pick
just
one. Pick one.
oh bloody hell. I think Foden, man. I think his
Foden.
turn of pace, along with his dribbling, is way too good. Especially given his age, it's way too good.
Yeah. UT, we'll just take your answer, then get back to Fabio Carvalho.
Silva mostly because I just hate that little bastard.
All
Yeah,
right.
Silva.
So, Ritvik, what do you think Fabio Carvalho brings? I know that you have your data ready, so very eager to hear it here. What do you think Fabio Carvalho brings to Liverpool?
I mean, I watched, I mean, a lot of clips of uh, Carvalho probably since we got like linked with him, and I think I watched a few championship games as well this season. I think he's a real exciting talent. I think we like kind of hit lottery here. I don't want to jinx it
Yeah.
early, but this is kind of like a lottery buy. He's just 19.
Hmm.
So to just talk about where he plays, Fulham actually plays 4-2-3-1. That's how they set up basically. So he plays in the number 10 role behind the striker with Kebano on the left and or Bobby Reed on the left and Harry Wilson, who we know on the right.
Yeah.
They are
Mitrovic on top.
they're absolutely the best team in the championship at the moment. Mitrovic is a championship god. He's so
The
the championship
Zlatan,
is.
the Zlatan Ibrahimovic of the championship.
Championship,
I
yeah.
mean, Mitrovic is at a level where he's like too good for the championship, but the Premier League seems to be too good for him. So he's somewhere in between. And yeah, coming back to Carvalho again.
Bit like a bit like a bit like a lot of single boys ka love life. Like too good to be single, but वो level भी नहीं hit हो पा रहा है तो. Anyway, sorry, I digress.
No,
Yeah.
no, no, it's fine. So yeah, for number 10 in a 4-2-3-1, and he loves to like roam around those half spaces, especially on the left side. Um, so if you were to like put him in our squad in a 4-3-3, I think he would work best in on the left side of the front three. I wouldn't really play him in the midfield because he's not ready to play in the midfield yet, or not well disciplined, I would say, to play in the midfield.
Hmm.
But yeah, overall, the profile again coming to his finishing and movement, that's where he's like really, really brilliant at. When we say he's a number 10, he's not a creative number 10, but more of a goal scoring number 10.
Yeah.
He's more of a goal threat rather than a creator. So he's someone who loves to get on the ball, and one of his key traits is that he gets into the box very often. You can see him in the box every time Fulham attack, and he's on the end of a shot. And his shooting technique is quite funny because he's always taking like he's always shooting with the inside of his foot, something Coutinho-ish, because he loves to take those kind of shots, curl it in the back of the net. But again, another thing that I've really found, like really impressed by him is that he always like takes a glance at the keeper and judges his position, and sometimes he goes for the near post finish confidently and he gets it in. So that's something that stands out in my opinion. Weaknesses, physicality is one, um, and his defensive side is also something that would need to be worked on. But overall, I think he's an excellent signing, excellent movement. He loves to link up play as well, gets into the box. I think both he has like he's quite two-footed as well, not the best left foot, but he can cut back well. That's where most of his assists come from, cutting backs. But imagine a situation where Thiago or Firmino from midfield, like putting in a through ball, you can expect Fabio Carvalho to chase that through ball and get in. And he really loves to run at players as well. He has good feet, excellent feet. He can run at players and win fouls in some really good areas of the pitch. So I would say it's a very exciting signing. Not definitely going to be a start, of course, like UT said. Um, he is one for the future, and I think he's going to be a squad player next season for us. And this might also mean that Curtis Jones possibly could, you know, go out on loan.
Curtis Jones तो है. Ishan, now there is talk,
Mhm.
and I haven't read too much of it, but there is talk that we might offload Joe Gomez to Fulham. I have read this. Uh, अभी जो गोमेज के बारे में विल टॉक इन मोर डिटेल a little bit later, मतलब in perhaps another video. This is not the video to talk about Joe Gomez, but Fabio Carvalho, do you think he's a direct replacement for one of? Do you see that? Is he a replacement for one of our starters? हम लेफ्ट साइड पे अब कुछ
Uh,
ज्यादा ही साइन कर रहे हैं.
I think from what I have seen of Carvalho, and this also, like I still remember his goal. I think it was against Southampton last season in the Premier League. I think, if I'm
Yeah.
not wrong, I think it was his debut goal. And I think from whatever I've seen of him, I think that goal kinda encapsulates him completely. So
Hmm.
if you see the build-up of that goal, he dropped into the midfield, he spread the ball, then he goes up, and right on the edge of the 6 yard box, he gets the ball and he shoots the ball. And brilliant technique, like no denying that. Uh, I think with the kind of link up he has, the kind of movement, late movement inside the box after link kick up, it reminds me a lot of early Bobby Firmino under Klopp, I mean. So I think it could be a really interesting false nine alternative for the future as well, because I mean, this season we have already seen I wouldn't say an experiment, but yeah, like we have seen how Klopp has also played Mane as a typical nine, not deep, dropping that deep as Bobby does. But yeah, I mean, so I think Carvalho is like something which we can play around a bit with, because his skill set is so huge, and his basic understanding of the game is so brilliant that I think, as Ritvik said, we can play him as a left-sided Coutinho kindish player as well, like with that free movement to drift inside, and we can even play him as a false nine like Bobby does for us in the current system.
Right. Right. So last question before get to the City game, and then 10-15 minute mein let's close the stream off. Guys, UT, one for the future, you think? Fabio Carvalho?
Definitely. I mean, see, uh, we may not really sign players as much as some of us would like, but
Yeah.
whenever we sign players, there is a fair bit of good quality research and good quality uh, mod, predictive
Hmm.
modeling that has gone behind it. Where we so my understanding or my assumption here is that we look at our players who are currently paying for the squad, and
Hmm.
then we look at our options and we try and figure out which one of these options might turn out to be like someone from the current squad in the future, which is where I completely agree with Ishan that Carvalho may have been brought in just to be a Firmino replacement. We know Firmino's contract is up
Correct.
in the next couple of years,
Yes.
and
Yes.
from what I understand, we might not be extending, because if Salah gets his contract and Mane may or may not get his contract, getting Firmino
Hmm.
to sign would be impossible almost. So if he plays for 2 years as an understudy, and then probably once Firmino has moved on, he at least tries and gets some game time into that particular role or that particular mold. I definitely think that's an exciting prospect. Will he be able to do it? Only time will tell. I mean, we haven't really seen much of him because he was pretty much a championship player.
Right.
We have seen in the past that championship achievers sometimes or most of the time do not translate well to when it comes to Premier League. Mitrovic is one example. There are a lot others. So let's hope for the best and just see.
All right. Now coming back to the Manchester City versus Liverpool game. Ritwik, I'm going to ask you straight up. Your starting 11.
Allison, definitely. Robo, Virgil, Joel, Trent, back four.
Yeah.
Fabinho, Thiago, Henderson, midfield. Now, the front three is which is like really really tough to choose. How would I go with? Mane or Diaz on the left? I'm fine with either. Um, Firmino definitely in the middle, and Salah on
Hmm.
the right. And I wouldn't actually be surprised if we like even go with like four attackers. I wouldn't be surprised because we've done that quite a few times.
अरे बाप रे
We've done
भाई
that. So
four attackers.
it's probably going to be kind of like a 4-4-2 where Salah and Firmino probably
Bhai will get
are the two
murdered in
attackers.
midfield if we.
Yeah, so that possibly cannot be ruled out because I've
Yeah.
seen Klopp go for that. I think we did that against City as well. last year
1-1.
in the first game. Yeah, so that's where I think we had like Fabinho act as like a cover shadow to prevent passing lanes and prevent City from building out from the back. So I
Right.
wouldn't be surprised even if we go that route. But yeah, it's a tough pick. I think we'll still like go with 4-4-3-3 rather.
Dave's LFC chats is in the chat, boys. Fantastic creator. Please go ahead and subscribe to Dave LFC chats. He was doing a live just before, around a couple of hours before. Please go and subscribe to Dave's channel. Fantastic content. Big up to you, Dave. Here. Thank you so much for joining the chat. UT, क्या है तेरा
Yep.
starting 11? What would your starting 11 be?
Okay, my starting 11. So Allison definitely. Then I think the defense is pretty much sorted. We have Robo, we Van Dijk, we have Matip, Trent. My midfield would Thiago, Fabinho, Henderson slash Milner. I am still a bit torn between those two.
Milner, seriously, UT,
Yes,
पक्का, मतलब, you
I'm
sure?
actually surprised.
I know coming from me, it should be a big surprise. I know, but
I can see Rambai take like screen recording this
I
call.
was
हाँ,
about to
इसका
say
इसका 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 कट इसका क्लिप भेजना पड़ेगा.
that.
no, I want to win this game, and I
अरे ठीक है, UT will join back. I think some technical error. uh, Ishan, starting 11. I think you've sort of answered it, but let's just put it together again.
uh, Allison, Trent, Robertson, Van Dijk, Matip, Fabinho, Henderson, Thiago, Mane, Bobby, and Salah.
Mane, Bobby, and Salah is the front three that Ishan is going with. Um, I have to say that it's a bit controversial. I'll tell you my starting 11, and the midfield and defense is pretty much the same as you guys. It's basically Allison, Trent, Virgil, Joel, Robbo, then Fabinho, Thiago, Henderson is my midfield as well. The front three that I would like to see in this game is Salah, Jota, Diaz. That is the, and I'll tell you why. One of the things that I think that can work in our favor, and this is also a question that I asked you guys. Yeah, I think that Luis Diaz no is a bit of a wild card when it
Yeah.
comes to Manchester City. They have not played against Manchester City, and they've not played against Luis Diaz at
Yes,
Liverpool. Of course,
yes.
they played against him in the Champions League. And I'll tell you something that, yeah, first of all, Luis Diaz in this team is a pacey player is always going to cause you problems, no matter how much predictable they are. First of all, predictable is a word that I don't agree with, but pacey players can always cause you trouble. The thing is, we can start with that. We can, and I think that in this game, a blistering start is very very important. Where
Yes.
I think this game will be won or lost is basically, like you guys were saying, when a game when the game is going, the पागल के जैसे pace में game चलता है ना, it suits us. So for that reason, I would start with both Jota, because Jota can just pop up at a goal at any time in any time. And secondly, यार 20 goals in the season. Look, we have to understand यार, वो बहुत ही ज्यादा अच्छे फॉर्म में है, तो उसको भी ड्रॉप नहीं कर सकते. साला इज मोहम्मद साला, राइट? तो दैट्स माय रीजन, दैट्स हाउ आई वुड सेट इट अप. बट अगेन, let's if UT is not able to join back, I think he has a power cut or something, or maybe his phone got switched off. But anyway, Ritvik, score prediction.
I'm a big jinxer. I don't want to predict the score.
Don't jinx
Jinxing.
it, brother. Don't jinx it.
Okay, I'll probably go safe. I'll say it will be a 1-1 draw.
All right, Ishan.
No predictions, brother. I don't do predictions. I told you
ये तो
before.
ये तो
I'm
ये
not
तो
gonna jinx it.
ये तो
Not
तू
this
मेरी
game.
लाइन बोल
Not
रहा
this
है.
game. I'm okay with giving you a prediction for the FA Cup game, but not this one. Sorry, it's not gonna
हाँ,
happen.
मतलब ये तो तू, हाँ, ये तो तू मेरी लाइन बोल रहा है, बट ठीक है यार. इवन आई डोंट डू प्रेडिक्शंस बिकॉज दैट इज, आई एम वेरी सुपरस्टिशियस अबाउट दैट पर्टिकुलर थिंग.
Yeah,
Rahul, यार, लेट्स होप दैट इज द केस. Let's hope that is true. If we are indeed celebrating our victory, it will be absolutely amazing. Aryan says City 2, Liverpool 1. um, that is indeed very very possible. City are a super team, and of course, they have more than enough to win this game. That is absolutely possible. Let us know your predictions in the comment section before we close this. We will talk about it. Jasim talks about the referees. Yeah, Jasim. Honestly, it is true that it is a bit weird that people born in Manchester are referees, but abhi, yeah, frankly, that is not something in our control. And we rather focus on ourselves and just putting out a good performance tomorrow. Referees are what they are. I mean, not like the other referees uh, are very competent, or they have not given decisions in are against us. But chalo, referees ke bare mein we won't talk too much. Sam says 3-1 Liverpool. 3-1 Liverpool 5. I think 5 is a typo, but 3-1 Liverpool. 3-1. Oh, wow. Okay, 3-1 is bold. That is bold. Um,
We haven't won
Dev,
at the we haven't won at the Etihad like in 5 years or something now.
yeah.
yeah.
So Dev says, let me just, yeah. So Dev says, not. I'm not a big fan of prediction as well. I'm going for a Liverpool win. 3 point matters. That's all that matters, brother. It doesn't matter what scoreline. I just hope we win. Um,
Doesn't matter who scores, even if it's a set of own goals. I'm okay with it. To be really honest, I just want those 3 points. That's it. End of discussion.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so big game tomorrow. But first of all, thank you, number one, to the people who joined the chat. Talked about the game. Thank you so much for joining, guys. Jasim is going for a 2-2 draw. The repeat of the Anfield fixture. Okay. So yeah, man, I mean, it's a huge game. So thank you so much, yeah. Thank you so much for whoever joined the chat. It will be brilliant if you guys haven't subscribed, and do subscribe to our channel. And again, we'll keep coming up with much more Liverpool content or your way. Yes, they're right. Spurs are 4-0 up. They have picked apart Steven Gerrard's Aston Villa. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I mean, big game tomorrow. Yeah, Rithwik, Ishan, UT, who cannot join. He has some technical problems. So big thanks to you guys. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Let's hope it's a brilliant game tomorrow. Of course, the 3 points are more very very important, but let's really hope that we go ahead and put out a good performance, because this game is absolutely everything at this point in time. Right
Yeah,
now, in right now in England, this is the biggest game, and
yeah.
and let's just go out and let's hopefully we win it. Cheers, guys! Thank you so much for joining us,
Thank you
and
for having us. Thank
Thank you.
thank
you.
you so much. Thank you
Always a
so much,
pleasure.
guys. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye. See you.